to improve the golden moment of opportunity and catch the good that is in our reach is the great art of life. A very good morning to the galaxy of intellectuals, invited guests, professors, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is a matter of immense pride to stand here before all of you this morning on this virtual platform. On behalf of Presidency School, Kasturi Nagar, we are delighted to offer a gracious welcome to all of you to our valedictory program 2020-21, Collaborate and Curate. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. I would like to invite dignitaries to kindly light the lamp, followed by the prayer song to invoke the Almighty. Mr. Prasanna to chant a few quotes from the Bhagavad Gita, Ms. Jennifer Lata for Bible reading, and Ms. Ume Salma for sharing the teachings of Quran.
सर्वेभ्यो नमस्कारः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। वेदमनोच्चाचार्योऽन्ते वासिनमनुषास्ति। सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः। आचार्याय प्रियं धनमाकृत्य प्रजातन्तुं मा व्यवच्छेत्सीः। सत्यान्न प्रमदितव्यं धर्मान्न प्रमदितव्यं कुशलान्न प्रमदितव्यं देवपितृकार्याभ्यां न प्रमदितव्यं। मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव। यान्यनवद्यानि कर्माणि तानि सेवितव्यानि नो इतराणि। यान्यस्माकं सुचरितानि तानि त्वयोपास्यानि। हरिः ओम्। धन्यवादाः।
The scripture lesson is taken from the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verses beginning from 1 to 6. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Thanks be to Lord Jesus Christ.
اللهم ارحمنا بالقرآن.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
In order to extend a formal welcome to each one of you viewing this program, I request Mrs. Bhashati Mukherjee, Vice Principal, to please deliver the welcome address.
Good morning to the beautiful gathering present here. On behalf of the entire fraternity of Presidency School, Kasturi Nagar, I, Mrs. Bhashwati Mukherjee, extend a heartfelt welcome to one and all present here. At the very outset, I am delighted to share our joy and gratitude in welcoming our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ramesh Arthanari, MS, MCH, FRCS, Medical Director and Chief GI Surgery, Meenakshi Mission Hospital and Research Center, Malur. Thank you, sir, for joining us and gracing the occasion. Warren Bennis said, leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. The essence of the successful leadership is thus to grasp and hold a vision and keep working towards it. On this note, I warmly welcome Dr. Nisar Ahmed, Chancellor, Presidency University, Chairman, Presidency Group of Institutions, whose vision and conviction shines in the eyes of each student graduating today. I take the opportunity to express my gratitude to Mrs. Kausar Ahmed, Director Administration at the group, whose continual support has been helping us scale newer heights. She is the entity who makes everything possible with utmost ease. I would solemnly like to acknowledge the guidance and reinforcement that we always receive from our enterprising young Vice Chairman of the group, Mr. Suhail Ahmed. His sustained assistance help us function smoothly. I would also like to express our gratefulness to Mrs. Nafisa Ahmed, Director, Presidency Group of Institutions, who is always there to encourage, fortify, lift and strengthen us. Her ever-supportive spirit aids us in our resolve to do better and think better with each passing day. We'd also like to warmly welcome Mr. Salman Ahmed, Vice President, Presidency University. On behalf of our students, staff and guests, we extend a warm welcome to all the management trustees, principals of the union schools, dignitaries and distinguished guests who have joined us today. We also heartily welcome the parents of grades 10 and 12 who have joined this portal along with their wards to witness this graceful occasion. Dear children, though the assistance of your family, teachers and friends have contributed immensely to your growth, you must continue to burn the lamp of knowledge and wisdom in your mind and heart. Keep looking for sources of inspiration and motivation within and outside, which will help you continue your journey and aim for the galaxy full of boundless possibilities and new horizons. I would like to end my welcome speech by quoting Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, "All birds find shelter during rain, but an eagle avoids rain by flying above the clouds. Problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. May God bestow His choicest blessings upon you and may good fortune, happiness and success shine upon you now and always." Thank you.
Responsibility is a grace you give yourself, not an obligation. We can proudly say that the school captain and vice captain took up their responsibilities with zeal and passion. And I now request them to kindly come forward for sharing the mantle of responsibilities.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Do you, Pranav Atmuri, promise to maintain discipline, lead in the right way, and uphold the honor and good name of this our school?
I do.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as principal of this school, I appoint you, Pranav Atmuri, as interim school captain and charge you to be worthy of this appointment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I now call upon Kavya to deliver the valedictorian speech.
Good morning, respected dignitaries, Principal Sir Dr. G. Tamilare, Admin Manager Mrs. Vijaya Tamilare, Vice Principal Mrs. Bhashwati Mukherjee, dear teachers, parents and the batch 2020. On behalf of the graduating batch 2020, I, Kavya Umashankar, take this opportunity to reminisce our journey in presidency and and extend our gratitude to all who made us worthy of the day. Change is often uncomfortable, messy, and full of unpredictability, but it is necessary. From please stop talking children to please talk children. From ironing our uniforms in a hurry to attending online classes right after waking up, we have changed. Some of us have been here from the time we fought for erasers, but never did we think we would face a pandemic. The WhatsApp chats, unitedly getting scolded for missing the PE class, playing Pictionary and dumb charades, the art and English project, astronauts Kalpana Shetty, Rakesh Sharma and their fellow moon dancers, exit meeting being the only route of escape, and so on. The list is never ending. We have managed to create beautiful memories both online and offline. Now is the time to store all the memories and walk towards the future with our heads held high. With the world filled with anxiety, a little bubble called presidency taught us to embrace the uncertainty. A million mentions wouldn't be enough to thank the school for their determination and their hard work to make our school year better. I thank our beloved Principal Sir, Vice Principal Ma'am and Admin Ma'am for their constant support and guidance. Like many others, on my first day here, my stomach was filled with butterflies. But the warmth shown by the teachers made me feel welcome and at home. This warmth never faltered till date and will stay with us forever. So I am grateful to all the teachers who have been there for us from our nursery days, including the kindergarten teachers, primary and middle school teachers who play a vital role in molding us into who we are today. Shilpa ma'am, your love for physics is so contagious that at one point we all thought of becoming physicists. Finding a teacher who prioritizes the opinions of her students is a rarity and our class was blessed to have her. Thank you for containing our fears. Rekha ma'am, from talking about politics to learning the importance of focus, it was a wonderful journey. As a role model, you taught how discipline and patience can combine to overcome difficulties. We are grateful for everything you did for us. Uma ma'am, we'll always be thankful for the long hours and creativity you put into making R.D. Sharma problem safe fun. We promise we won't forget the accident prone days. Shona ma'am, thank you for making the intense 11th grade easier to handle. Neha ma'am, honestly speaking, you've been one of the coolest teachers we've ever met. The relatability of the anecdotes you share in class not only keep us engaged but also help us move forward. Sudha ma'am, you helped us through the complex transcription process of learning and also made sure of the post-transcriptional changes. We'll definitely miss the workshops, stories, role plays and cheats. Satya ma'am, on behalf of all the computer students, thank you for being so supportive and patient. Nivedita ma'am, thank you for exposing us to a variety of activities throughout the past years and helping us become independent. I thank all the other teachers, CODs, HODs, staffs, transport faculty, housekeeping faculty and security guards for making us feel like this was our home. I also thank our families for their endless support and love. Finally, I thank all my classmates for making this year memorable. We have created friendships that will last a lifetime. This year has been a roller coaster of emotions and it was survivable only because we supported each other. New opportunities are coming our way and I am sure we'll reach greater heights. Thank you.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, but memory is priceless. Let's go into the flashback and see how we have all grown together over the years.
यादों के पुराने एल्बम में छुपा के रखे हैं हमने वो दिन, गुल्लक में बड़ी चवन्नी सी बचा के रखे हैं हमने वो दिन। ना किसी मंजिल की फिक्र थी जिंदगी, जीने की उम्र थी दोस्ती, और दोस्तों से उधार के दिन थे वो दिन भी क्या दिन थे।
And now, the moment that we have all been waiting for, unveiling of the mascot. Let's unveil the mascot of this valedictorian function 2020-21. The fragrance of flowers spread only in the direction of wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all directions. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have the presence of Dr. Ramesh Arthanari as the Honorable Chief Guest of this valedictorian ceremony. Dr. Ramesh Arthanari, MS, MCH, FRCS, Medical Director and Chief, GI Surgery, Meenakshi Mission Hospital and Research Center, Madurai. Sir is no stranger to any student of surgery across India. He is a firm believer of intensive reading and is a sought-after speaker in various conferences. Sir hails from Dinu Valley School, where every day was a sports day. Sir learnt in his school to play various sports, skills of photography, printing the photographs on photography paper, to debating clubs, and many more. Sir believes that such exposure is real education. Learn, unlearn, and relearn is the mantra of his life. I would like to call upon Sir to deliver his wise words to our students and everyone viewing this program.
I work in a private hospital, but we have an academic background in the sense that we run the National Board postgraduate courses. And I have been president of the Indian Association of Surgical Gastroenterology, which is our core specialty. It has about 2,000 members across the country. And also I am into laparoscopic surgery. I've been doing it since 1992. I'm one of the very early people who took it up in the country. So since 1992. So I was also president of the Association of Minimal Access Surgeons of India, which is about a 5,000 members body, and I still take active role in that training of laparoscopy and GI surgery. So that I still have an interest in teaching. So I teach students whenever I get a chance. So most of actually I was thinking that in the pandemic it will go down. It actually seems to have gone up in the pandemic because it's quite easy to organize a webinar. And compared to the problems of organizing a physical conference, it's so much simpler that everybody is organizing. And so we have had so many webinars, symposiums across, that it's almost like week to week you're on the platform and having a meeting. So it's been a different thing, but I think I have always been telling people over a cup of tea or over dinner at a meeting that in another 10 years we would have moved out from physical meetings to these meetings, because these would be more convenient and once the software and internet speeds come up, these are more convenient. You don't have to leave your work. You don't have to travel long distances. So I think that these things are so. And then you just limit yourself to one physical meeting a year, so where you can meet all the friends. The rest can all be done on this, I think, platform. And that is, I think, the way to go. and I have a feeling that this is the future. We already got a glimpse of it thanks to this virus, which we would have seen maybe in 10 years. The virus has brought it to our doorsteps much faster.
We did face a few challenges also
I know.
on account of this, because schooling and online learning, yes, we did meet the kind of expectations, but then at the end of the year, when we started opening up in the month of January and allowing students to come in, we took some examination, we call it pre-board examinations, and there was nearly 40 to 50% dip in the performance.
Oh, because
Writing. See, writing skills, application skills, time management, and all that. The teachers, we have a wonderful faculty here, and they did a commendable work in terms of online teaching. They rose from level 1 to level 2, level 3 in terms of upgrading the resources or navigating resources on online platform. But then nothing can be like a physical interaction. No, that's
yeah.
Well, it has a very wide scope. I mean, today we have the opportunity of having you interacting. I mean, I cannot even imagine that this could happen. You see, it's a matter of 1 week we got in touch and we are talking to each other.
Wow, that was a wonderful interaction. Now let's see what Sir has to say on this special occasion for all the students and the educators.
Good morning to all of you, distinguished guests, faculty members, Dr. Tangurai, Director of the school, students who are passing out from the 10th and the 12th grades, and their parents. It is a privilege for me to address you today, because the students of today are the leaders of tomorrow. And unless we can generate a group of students who are imbibed with proper ethics, integrity, an ability to communicate, and an ability to perform, the future of the country will not be bright. I'm happy to say that when I see students around me in various forums, the students are very, at present very expressive. But the problem I have faced with them is that their knowledge of the subject is good, but when you ask them some, off-the-cuff questions about, history, geography, great achievements of mankind, you suddenly see a blank look. And I think that this is because we have lost the habit of reading. The new generation reads everything online. But somehow I feel that reading online, unless you really subscribe to a magazine and then you read it cover to cover, you are never going to get the ability to read a magazine in full. You will read articles. You will read some articles. But when we were younger, we were able to get access, at least in my place, due to a remarkable man called Mr. Raghutam Rao, who sponsored a lending library where he would subscribe to journals, and those journals would be brought to our houses and given for 2-3 days, where we could read them and return them. And among the magazines that we regularly receive are Time, Newsweek, Life, National Geographic. These magazines had a worldview. They just didn't show one view. Each one had its own area of interest. Time and Newsweek being more political and also contemporary news magazines, whereas Life was more about lifestyle and other things, and the National Geographic was more about what the world is and how the world is. I think these things are also very, very important for children, and they should be have the ability to read these, and they will open their horizons. Some of them may even start thinking of new careers because of that. In my own personal life, I was fascinated by the Time and Newsweek coverage of how Christian Barnard performed the first transplant in South Africa, and of how the two great cardiothoracic surgeons from USA, Denton Cooley and Michael DeBakey, started doing coronary bypass and other major heart operations. And that fascination for what they were doing led me from a very early age to think in terms of being a doctor, and in particular a surgeon. Many students make up their career choices of specialities in medicine during their MBBS or after their MBBS. I had made it before my MBBS. I knew I'd be a surgeon. What I would specialize in, I would have to decide later, but I knew that I wanted to be in the surgical specialties. And towards that goal, I wrote my entrance exams and got into the medical college, and then later got into the specialty of my choice. And then I became, as I looked around, the new specialty of GI surgery was coming, and I was one of the first few qualified GI surgeons in the country, actually in the first 10, because Chennai was the only center in those days. But what I'm trying to tell is that you should do what you want to do, not because somebody expects you to. And this I must tell the parents also. Find out what the child is good at, what he's enthusiastic about, and let him do that. If he's enthusiastic about building computer games, let him do that. It's a career which can be very rewarding and which can be very good. Don't restrict your ideas that somebody should be only an engineer, a doctor, accountant. No, there are many other specialities which we have. And sometimes these specialities or what you want to do can change due to many circumstances. An Indian surgeon by the name of Subramaniam migrated to the US to become a neurosurgeon. But after about 3 years of trying for neurosurgery, he couldn't get a residency in neurosurgery. Somebody then told him, while walking past in the cafeteria over a cup of coffee, that there was a vacancy in the cardiothoracic department because somebody had left. So why don't you go and ask them and see if you can get that post. So this man who wanted to be a neurosurgeon decided to become a cardiothoracic surgeon. He finished it, and in the next 20 years, he became one of the world's foremost pediatric cardiothoracic surgeons, at the very top, invited to give lectures across the globe at various forums. So he adapted, and this is very important. Sometimes we will not get what we want, but what we get, we may be able to do wonders. I will just leave you with one small story, and you think about this story every time you are in trouble, you are in problems. The story goes back to the early 1900s, 1915, 1916, in the American state of Alabama, which is one of the poorer states. And these two African American children who used to go to school early every day because it was their job to light the fire for the school heaters. Because they couldn't pay their fees, they were asked to do this job. One day, the person who buys the gas and keeps it. Instead of buying normal fuel for heating, he bought petrol by mistake in the can and kept it there. And these two young boys, not knowing, poured it in, lit it, and the whole thing exploded. And the fire was so bad that both one boy died, the other boy was admitted. And when he was in his bed, he could hear the nurses talk. He's burnt so badly, it would have been better if he had died. But he didn't die. With his mother's care, he recovered. And at that time, he overheard the doctors talking to his mother that his muscles of his legs are so badly burnt that he cannot walk even one step. And they said he'll be paralyzed for life, he'll have pain, so let us amputate his legs. The boy had overheard this and called his mother and said, no, don't let them amputate my legs. And the mother also agreed. And finally, they discharged him, he went home. He was paralyzed, he was sitting, he was always in a wheelchair. And every morning in the summer, his mother would take him out, apply a lot of oil on both the lower limbs and allow him to be in the sun so that he could develop his bones. And in American houses, there is what is called as a picket fence. So there are woods, planks along, and there's a gap between each plank. And these are very common, it's called picket fences. So one day he decided that he will try to stand. So he held on to that wooden picket fence and stood with great pain. Then as he went on standing, after some time, few days, he started to hold on to one wooden stump, and he would hold on to the next one and walk. And like this, he started walking around the house regularly, and soon he could walk without any help from the fence. Then he started to go to school again. And in his own biography, he has written that the walk to the school was so painful that to shorten the period of pain, he would run to the school. And he would run for whatever he did because that running was less painful than walking. In the year 2000, the American Athletic Association named Glenn Cunningham the greatest middle distance runner in American 20th century history. Glenn Cunningham was a boy who it was predicted would not live, would not walk, and whose legs should be amputated. And yet, with his determination and courage, he broke world records in 1,500 and 3,000 meters, won a silver medal at the Olympic Games, and became America's greatest middle distance runner for the 20th century. So, whenever things seem bad and you're faced with a bad result, you might have done badly in an examination. One examination is not everything. We see stories of students committing suicide because they didn't do well in one examination. No, one examination is nothing. You may fail in one examination and then do very well in the very next examination. So whenever you feel down, remember the story of Glenn Cunningham. See if your difficulties are more than his, and that, I think, will give you the moral courage to face these trying times. And there is no doubt that you live in a much more competitive world. We have many more kids, and the number of jobs are coming down because of automation, because of computerization. And so the fight for these places is more. But I think that new professions will come up, which we haven't even thought of, which we even don't know. And there was a fear in the bankers' minds when computerization came that there will be no role for bankers. And yet you see 30 years later, the banking industry is one of the most robust, one of the biggest employers, and with all this computerization, they are able to do a better job and actually do more core banking. So the future is bright, and it is what you make of it. It is in your hands, and I'm sure that with proper guidance from your parents, and don't be afraid of expressing what you want to do to your parents. They may give you logical reasons why you should not do that, or they may help you to achieve that dream and do well. I wish you all the best in your career and in your life. The career is important, but so is life. A happy life is as important as a successful career. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I think you covered all of the aspects, right from limitations, challenges, and freedom of thought, aspiration. I think it covers all. Thank you so much.
Those blessings are sweetest than are won with prayers and born with thanks. To emphasize on the scene, let us listen to the melodious blessing song.
When upon life billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. Are you ever burdened with the load of care? Does the cross seem heavy you are called to bear? Count your many blessings, every doubt will fly, and you will be singing as the days go by. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. When you look at others with their lands and gold, think that Christ has promised you his wealth untold. Count your many blessings, money cannot buy your reward in heaven or your home on high. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. So amid the conflict, whether great or small, do not be discouraged, God is over all. Count your many blessings, angels will attend, help and comfort give you to your journey's end. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done.
A pessimist complains about the wind, an optimist tries to change it, and a leader adjusts the sails. The sail for this particular notion were adjusted by a person who is not only a great motivation to all of us, but a visionary and a person who gave us the belief to bring together this event. He is none other than our beloved Director Principal Sir, Dr. G. Thammadile. May I now request our beloved Sir to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning. Welcome, graduates, parents, family and friends, colleagues, members of the board and the management, very warm welcome to you on this very joyful occasion. Having been associated with this school as the founding principal for the last 13 years, Presidency Kasturi Nagar is very near and dear to me. And so are all of you associated with this school. And it is in my heart. And so it be with honor and great pleasure that I am able to bring to you the concluding remarks today to the class 2021 to this August gathering. Graduates, first, that we say how much we are very proud of you. You have reached important milestone which comes with lot of hard work and such determination. Congratulations, you did it. And I know you did not reach this important day on your own. So please join me in showing your appreciation to your parents, your families, teachers, advisors, mentors, counselors, coaches, classmates, and everyone in the Presidency family who helped you to arrive at this important milestone today. So to our audience, I would like to share words for this year's graduation class. When I think about what makes this school stronger, I believe it is the willingness to look at ourselves in a broader context, to ask what is our place in the world and how can we shape a better world. And you graduates, you are the best answer. Your study at Presidency has opened the doors to you to be the change agents and global citizens, to take action to make a better place for all citizens. In a world of increasing complexity and significant changes, where changes is happening faster ever before, this is the graduating class that has been unafraid of the challenges of pandemic situations and challenges of a traditional formal learning. At the same time, you have shown your respect, you understand the importance of honoring and learning from the past before the pandemic times, and respect and understand and cooperate during the pandemic times. If you are not willing to fail or face challenges, you cannot innovate, is what it is said. If you are not willing to build a vulnerable culture, you can't create. Class 2021, you have shown us in many ways, who are willing to take risk of attending the exam in the month of January and February and classes, to be bold and to be honorable, courageous and considerate during the pandemic times. You demonstrated resilience personally and academically, and this would open opportunities and pave new pathways. You have embraced how to shape the values of homeschool learning, sense of community with your family during the pandemic times at home, inclusiveness
creativity, and making a difference in your life. During your pandemic times at Presidency, each of you have lived a learner profile. You demonstrated athletic excellence and commitment to teamwork and well-being as presidentians. You distinguished yourself in all areas of performing and visual arts, be it annual day or in-house school activities. We are proud to salute all your accomplishments. Together with the guidance, expertise and commitment of your teachers, you made Presidency more inclusive and caring place. Graduates, know that we will always carry you in our hearts and remain ever grateful to your contributions to Presidency. Going by requests, both by mail and in person, you have expressed deep anguish of not having valedictory function on a physical platform, with all its glory of final togetherness. Our teaching faculty and I also feel the same. But pandemic times has come to stay again. And your health and every one of us need to take care of our health and not anguish what is destined by God. As our guest speaker rightly said, that when we face the blank face of impossibilities, we should look for the light at the end of the tunnel. He also said that we need to adapt to new opportunities, not to anguish over lost grounds. Virtual valedictory is one such opportunity for us to come together and share and care what best we can do and make the occasion a joyful moment. As you watch this virtual program, enjoy every bit of the making of the virtual valedictory program and appreciate and thank the teachers and administration who worked very hard to make this presentation today. Most importantly, you should revisit the golden moments of your school life. When you first stepped into the school, your first teacher, your memorable activities, or the roles you passionately enacted as a player, as an actor, as a performer, and in visual arts, and more. And all of this gets institutionalized in you. This institution will leave an indelible impression in your life. As you part with your friends, teachers, and every activity in the school, what will bring you all together again at any point in life after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, is the intrinsic values, memorable lessons of life, skills, thoughts that would have contributed to your success in life. As we shift our thoughts to the forthcoming CBSE examinations, I worry a little about the pressure or the stress of the students face because of the emphasis society places on exam results. At the same time, I would like to remind you that exams need to be treated for what they are and given the status required. You need not worry too much about the examination. you would be far better off asking yourself about your preparations. Have you done enough to prepare for your examinations? Have you put the hard work? If the answers for these questions are yes, then everything will fall in place. With these thoughts in mind, I wish all of our students well with the exams and encourage them to be honest in reflections on results they obtain. Use the results as a feedback for future learning and more on, and make the most of what you have achieved. For us adults, parents, educators, we should also be asking these questions ourselves. Have we done enough in our teaching and in our support? Have we reassured the students that their results will not impact how much we love them? Have we given resilience to bounce back if things don't go as they would like? Results are an indicator of where the students are at present. They are not an indicator of their worth as a person. Winston Churchill was absolutely miserable at school. J.K. Rowling received a mountain of rejection slips before founding his place in the publication industry of the world famous book Harry Potter novels. These are hundreds of examples of people who learned from their failures and bounced back and found success. Strive to do the best and wish you all the best. I take this opportunity to thank the parents in the first place for collaborating and curating our students during the homeschooling. Our teachers were the backbone of education, though not recognized as among the frontline warriors, and thank them for putting additional hours of work as remote teachers to connect and deliver conceptual understanding. Our management was very supportive in many ways, and especially providing us with a robust online platform for the smooth conduct of classes. If you have looked at the mascot of today's valedictory function, you will find three persons: the principal, management, the teachers, and the parents, holding on to the student, and the student is holding on to his academic pursuits, the book. That's a reflection of the collaboration that we all were involved in during the pandemic times. It was not only the school as an institution, it was a collaboration of parents, teachers, management. All of us worked together in almost in the same measure and intensity and passion to hold on education and keep learning going on and prepare the students to prepare them for the CBSE board examination. Pray and wish you all the very best of results. Thank you. Hail Presidency.
What a wonderful program. And of course, to thank each one of us involved in this program, I would like to invite Ms. Monica to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
The best and beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt by heart. Thank you is one such prayer amongst them. A very warm morning, dear dignitaries, eminent guests, management committee, parents and students. Thank you for joining us on this virtual forum. I, Monica Prasad, Coordinator, Middle School, on behalf of our Director Principal, Dr. G. Tangadurai, and the entire Presidency fraternity, Kasturi Nagar, extend my heartfelt and humble gratitude for your solemn virtual presence on this occasion. It means a lot. I cannot thank enough Dr. Ramesh Arthanari, the chief guest of the occasion, for having spared his precious time to grace the ceremony with his solemn presence. Thank you, sir. The young graduates of the day are sure to be inspired by your words. I also take the opportunity to thank Dr. Nisar Ahmed, Chancellor, Presidency University, and Chairman, Presidency Group of Institutions. Thank you, sir, for being an inspiration for all of us. Our heartfelt thanks to Mrs. Kausar Ahmed and the Purchase Department for their timely assistance. We are also grateful to the trustees, management committee, and the principals of our sister concerned schools. Our sincere gratitude to the young charismatic leaders of Presidency, Mrs. Nafiza Ahmed, Director, Presidency Group of Institutions, Mr. Suhail Ahmed, Vice Chairman, and Mr. Salman Ahmed, Vice President, Presidency University. Thank you so much for joining the portal and gracing the occasion with your splendid presence. We feel honored. A gratifying and extraordinary thanks to our wonderful parents fraternity for their relentless support throughout our journey. The pandemic year has been challenging, and the switch from physical to digital wouldn't have been smooth without your cooperation. This day means so much to all of us. Thank you for your faith and trust in us. We thank you again from the core of our heart. I also take this opportunity to thank Dr. G. Tangadurai, our Director, Principal, for all his words of wisdom that is our powerhouse of energy and motivation. Thank you so much, sir. A big cheers and applause to PSBE teachers for their tremendous hard work and painstaking effort to ensure smooth conduct of education. You have pushed yourself beyond expectations and asked to learn technology to deliver the best to your students. Kudos to your unfailing determination and dedication. A big thank you to our admin ma'am, Mrs. Vijaya Tangadurai, for all her love and support. Thank you, ma'am. I would also like to thank the admin team, especially Mr. Karthik and Mr. Dulal, for their dedicated efforts. We would like to thank the security, D1 fortification for their tireless efforts. Our special thanks to the Vice Principal, Mrs. Bashwati Mukherjee, the Primary Coordinator, Mrs. Savita Anand, for all their continual support. A loud shout to the team PSBE, the English Department, Computer, Art, Music, and the PE Department, especially Mr. Prem Kumar, for as always giving us an awesome mascot. Thanks to each and every member for their role in making this event a grand success. Congratulations, batch of 2020-21. The sky is yours. Spread your wings and soar high. Best of luck and thank you.
There is not enough darkness in all the world to put out the light of even one small candle. Let us now witness the candlelight ceremony. I now call upon our Director Principal, Sir, Dr. G. Tangadurai, to kindly offer the pledge.
pledge. I solemnly pledge before God and before all who have assembled here this morning. I promise that I will deeply value and cherish the knowledge, wisdom, and skills that I inculcated here at presidency. I promise that I will strive to live a life that is guided by the highest ideals, principles, and ethics. I promise to be a responsible citizen of this great nation, and that I will do my best to make positive contributions to India, peace, prosperity, and progress, and to the great cause of ensuring justice to all its citizens. I solemnly pledge that I will not discriminate against anyone on the basis of race, religion, class, gender, language, or intelligence. I will not take advantage of anyone for the sake of undeserved personal benefits. I will be a person of integrity in all positions of responsibilities that I may hold in life. I will not use such opportunities for exercising power, but as avenues for service. I will be ever conscious of the need to protect the harmony of the environment, and I will strive to live a life that is ecologically sustainable, in keeping with the great ideals enshrined in the motto of this great institution. Gain more knowledge, reach greater heights. I pledge that I will stray neither to the right nor to the left, but on to the journey onwards with unwavering commitment to those principles. So help me God.
Let us conclude this wonderful program with a melodious instrumental music. I now call upon Vishnu of Seveni to showcase his talent of playing a beautiful instrument named violin. Enjoy.
One, two, one.